Welcoming everyone to a special live reaction show. This is the UEFA Champions League last 16 draw. It's just getting started now. UEFA are actually getting a move on for once, Paul. They've caught me by surprise here.
You both.
We're hoping to have a little bit of pre-game talk, so to speak. But the Champions League, obviously your team, Newcastle, are going to be drawn out soon. But the first team out of the hat is actually Manchester City. To be drawn. It's just been drawn now. You might be a little bit behind me on YouTube, but they are either going to get Bodo Glimt or Sporting Lisbon. No, it's Real Madrid against Manchester City.
Wow.
Real Madrid will face Manchester City, which means Bodo Glimt are going to get Sporting Lisbon.
Did you
that's
see,
the first thing we know.
Did you see? I think it was Thibaut Courtois. He said after the match, he said, "We don't need to do a draw. We already know that we're going to play Man City." I'm pretty sure that he said that in this post-game interview after the.
Well, that's the route. So, though we do know now that Manchester City are going to be in the top half of this draw. Manchester City will be drawing, I say, against Real Madrid. So that's really big news there. Real Madrid against Manchester City, Sporting Club against Bodo Glimt. But welcoming everyone. This has been a quick one. Kind of an impromptu stream, but let us know the team I'm really interested in. I really want Atletico Madrid to draw Spurs because I think Atletico at 28-1 could be
PSG versus Chelsea, Steve.
PSG against Chelsea. So that is, I know what that means for you guys. I know what that means for the Mags. You will get in Barcelona against Newcastle United. So, but you are also in the top half of the draw, I do believe now. Newcastle are in the top half of the draw, or in the bottom half of the draw. I'm getting confused.
I think
you're in the bottom half of the draw, right?
Yeah.
You're in the bottom half of the draw. Yeah. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I know you preferred to get Chelsea, but at least the Premier League's so strong, though, Paul.
Do you know what? If there's any time to play Barcelona, it's probably now. With just like the things that they've not been great exactly, have they, at the minute, Steve? Like they're dropping games, they concede a lot of goals with this high line, but it's I think their midfield's going to run all over us.
Breaking news: Liverpool are going back to Istanbul, scene of their 2005 Champions League triumph. They're going to get Galatasaray. I actually think that's a good draw though for Liverpool. I know they lost there in the group stage, but that means Atletico are going to be getting Spurs. So for me, that's the team to back here. Atletico Madrid. I need to see a little bit more of their route, but one thing I do know is that they've got a really good chance of qualifying against this Spurs side, who are missing so many players, and we know they're missing a lot of players until mid-April. So that's a massive boost for Atletico for me to get Spurs rather than Liverpool. And I was looking at them at 28-1 to win the Champions League. That must get cut, surely.
Yeah,
surely that gets cut now to 20 something, 20,
probably maybe just 20. Yeah,
25.
Atlanta versus Bayern.
Thoughts on that one?
I don't know who was the other team Bayern could have drawn, because we'll see. We'll find out now. Bayern. They could have got them, or they could have got Leverkusen. So how far apart are Atlanta and Leverkusen, would you say? You know, I don't think it's a crazy difference in levels, regardless. So I think Arsenal and Bayern are probably both pretty happy with whoever they get there. I think you're muted, Steve.
Yeah, thank you, mate. I'm just seeing a bit more about the routes now. Yeah. And Arsenal or Leverkusen will play Sporting or Bodo Glimt in the quarterfinal. Arsenal, I know they're the favourites, but I think Arsenal's route could well be one of the best now. Plus 350 they were to win the Champions League.
Yeah,
that's... Is that a lock into the semi-final? Let's be honest. If they're not beating Sporting, Bodo Glimt, or Leverkusen, that's surely Arsenal make the semi-finals
over two legs, Steve.
Yeah,
come on. This is also. I think they were +4. Were they +400, +500, something like that before the draw?
Do you know what I can't believe?
It's
It's
much
took you
better.
away for 5 minutes to do that draw.
Yeah, something's
It's
happened.
what is going on?
I
I've
thought it
never ever seen these guys be
time
so
before.
quick. I'm just waiting for a graphic breakdown of the top and bottom half, because then we can really get
They've
discussions.
sh
Uh,
they've
Here we go.
showed one on there. Yeah.
I've got it now. Right, so here we go. Right, top half of the draw, Paul. We've got Paris Saint-Germain against Chelsea, and the winner of that tie will face Liverpool or Galatasaray. So let's start there.
Mhm.
Two tasty clashes. Steve from then said he loves that tie. He wants to see more Victor Osimhen, against these Premier League teams. Liverpool,
Yeah.
Galatasaray. Liverpool will be the favourites over the two legs.
Pretty
Could
big
you see
one, you'd imagine as
Galatasaray?
well.
Could you see Galatasaray giving them issues? They have beaten them in the league phase.
They did, Steve, but again, Galatasaray against Juve, they were the much better side at home before the red card, but when they got it in the first, or Juventus got 2 red cards, didn't they? Both pretty terrible red cards as well. That's when Galatasaray started taking over. I think it's better. Before that, was it 3-2 when he got sent off? 3 in the first leg? I'm not sure, but I think Liverpool are just probably stronger than Juventus. I think Galab won't be able to play as much as they game. I think Osimhen, he struggled a lot in that second leg before the goal. Going up against Gatti, and I think he's playing a Virgil van Dijk who was going to cause him all sorts of problems. And without him, as you saw up until that point in the game, not much was clicking for Galatasaray against Juventus in that second leg. So if they can kind of neutralize him, which is obviously it's a big task, he's probably one of the best strikers in the world. Then I think Liverpool will win this like pretty comfortably. But I think a lot of it just depends on him, Steve. I wouldn't be rushing to beg Gala though. I'd love to see the opening of who to qualify though.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see Liverpool getting knocked out over two legs. I mean, we've just seen Galatasaray being taken to extra time by Juventus against 10 men.
Yeah.
That they have problems away from home. The first leg will be difficult. I could even see Galatasaray winning the first leg again or drawing it.
Mhm.
But at Anfield on the Euro night, second leg, really tough ask. Winner of that tie faces Paris Saint-Germain or Chelsea. Repeat of the Club World Cup final, where Maresca did a great job against PSG that day. Liam Rossini now in charge. Will it be PSG revenge, do you think, or can Rossini produce a tactical game plan? The way I see it, I think PSG are going to be so fired up for this because it's Chelsea. The team they lost to in the Club World Cup final.
Yeah.
But Chelsea can't be ignored completely here. Strong team.
No, Chelsea are a strong team, Stephen. Under Rossini, other than Arsenal, they're unbeaten. So they have looked strong. They went away to Napoli and won fairly as well away in the Champions League. But I think PSG kind of reminiscent to what they did last season, Steve. I know Dembele's out at the moment, but I think they are starting to click as the season goes on. They weren't great against Monaco the other night, but I think they are kind of prepping themselves. It's kind of like a horse, Steve. I think they're trying to peak at Cheltenham, and I think they're trying to peak at the backstages here at the Champions League, and I think that they are all gearing up to do it. And I wouldn't be surprised. I think they'll be decent enough favourites to qualify from that fixture, and I think they will. But I'm not going to say Chelsea can't cause them problems, but because they definitely can.
John has done wonders behind the scenes. He's
man.
got us the graphic. We can see it now while we're talking about it. But as I say, Liverpool Galatasaray in that top left quarter. Winner of that faces PSG or Chelsea. I'm interested to see the odds to qualify in that game, because I think PSG will be about minus 200 to qualify.
That's what I was about to say.
But if they are a bit bigger than that, I might be tempted over the two legs to get involved. If we get PSG Liverpool again, by the way, that'd be tasty, wouldn't it?
That top half of the draw, Steve, that is brutal. Look at that, because let's just say you're PSG, you play. Let's just say all the favorites go through. You play Liverpool in the next round after playing Chelsea. Let's just say you get through that, then you play either Madrid, City, or Bayern most likely, and then you play probably Arsenal in the final based on odds. That is brutal. Whereas you look on the other side, Arsenal, they'll play Leverkusen, then probably Bordeaux or Sporting. And then fair enough, they'll have a pretty difficult tie in the semi-final. But you could argue all of them teams that PSG would play in the semi-final would be harder than the teams that Arsenal will play in the semi-final. So you have to be looking at the bottom draw here. I think Atletico Madrid, as you were talking about before, that could be the best bet of the draw.
Well, yeah, let's continue with our thoughts on this left-hand side of the draw then. Manchester City, Real Madrid. I mean, Real Madrid have obviously been, it's not been the easiest season for them, has it? But they have big players who turn out in big moments. And I mean, City for me have to be favourites over the two legs to qualify. In terms of odds, I would say Manchester City maybe minus 175 to qualify would be fair. But Real Madrid, I mean, we've seen this before. Do you give them a chance against City?
Yeah, I don't think I'd have City as short as that, but I'd have them as definite favourites. Probably, I think a minus 135, minus 140. I was thinking, so not too far off. But I think they've shown enough to warrant this favoritism. Where is Real Madrid? Steve, we when you were watching that game against Benfica the other day, that first like 20 minutes, they were horrific. They looked like if you just took the name value off them team and there's no names on the back of those shirts, you would think Benfica and Real Madrid were swapped. You know, like it was crazy the performance they were putting in, and I don't think across the two legs they ever looked like a much better side. Which if you want to go and win the Champions League or even just beat Man City, you're gonna have to look like a much better side, and City, obviously, they qualified top 8, so they don't have to worry about that. They've had an extra break, or Real Madrid have had an extra 2 games. So, yeah, I think you have to take that into account. And I think the attacking quality for Manchester City is going to be a bit too much because I think the attacking quality of Real Madrid is also crazy. But I feel like they have so many injuries and they have a lot of chemistry issues, Steve. But the one question is, how long's Mbappe out for?
I don't think that long. Off the top
I think
of my head.
I thought they said that it was going to be longer than expected.
Oh, has that changed, Mbappe?
I thought that's what I read yesterday. Longer than expected, initially expected. So
well, that would obviously be a big blow if
mhm.
he is ruled out. I thought it was not that long.
Maybe you're right. Well, when is this? Is it? It's about a couple of weeks' time. It won't it be?
It's a knee injury. That's what he's got. No time frame has been given apparently, but he should be back on March the 7th against Celta Vigo. So
okay,
that would mean he would be available for the first.
Yeah.
But it might be more touch and go than we think there. Bayern then going to face Atalanta. I know Atalanta have just come back against Dortmund. But in general, I can't be having Serie A teams at the moment. Bayern are better than Dortmund.
Middle of March, Jack Wright just said it's to be rumoured for Mbappe.
I don't see a problem for Bayern here myself. I mean, unless something really goes wrong with red cards and stuff like that, Bayern Munich should be getting. I think Bayern, they would have preferred Leverkusen, no doubt about it. They'd have preferred Leverkusen, but just because they know them so well, and Atalanta are one of them teams that can produce a random result like they did. But I'm not. I mean, I think Bayern will be probably shorter than they should be to qualify, but I don't see a problem.
Minus 300-ish?
Oh, it'll be more than that. I think it'll be minus 500. Bayern Munich, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Bayern Munich, I think it'll be minus 500 to qualify.
I really wanted to see them win that Arsenal spot because I think they would have been the best bet of the entire tournament if they were swapped with Arsenal and they ended up drawing Leverkusen. But yeah, I think they'll get through Atlanta pretty routinely and they're probably hoping Real Madrid Man City's an absolute war and they can just sit there and wait along.
What a brutal section that left-hand side is. I mean, who is going to make the final from that section? I'm actually going to say Liverpool or PSG is the team I'm going to go with for my finalist on that left-hand side. I think we're destined to meet in the quarterfinals. It was the best matchup in last season's Champions League, and it was the last 16 then. We're going to get a quarterfinalist potentially out of them this time around. Anyway, let's go to that right-hand side of the draw. We've got to start with Arsenal down at the bottom there because they have got a fantastic route now. I mean, Arsenal quadruple odds are going to be sinking today on the back of this draw. Leverkusen first up for them. Let's just start that one. For me, that's just Leverkusen and nothing special whatsoever. They're all right. They can do a job. I don't see him getting anywhere near Arsenal myself in that one. Paul, any case for Leverkusen at all?
No, not even over one leg, Steve, and over two legs against this Arsenal team. Like, you're going to have to be at your absolute best to win a game against them. Never mind, again, as we just said, you have to be at your absolute best for 2 legs, and that's probably not even going to be enough. Like they've shown to for me they're the best team in Europe at the moment, and I think
Mm.
for a lot of people they are as well. In Leverkusen, they did come through pretty comfortably against in the last round, but yeah, I just think this Arsenal team they're going to be licking their lips at this draw, Steve. I think, as you said, you were talking about big favourites as Bayern were before. They're probably going to be that -500, probably maybe even bigger range.
Oh, Arsenal are going to be knocking on the -1,000 door.
Yeah.
Even. I mean, that sounds extreme. It could be. I don't know. It won't be that much, will it? Probably -750, possibly. But even better for them, they're going to get the winner of Sporting Club against Bodo Glimt. I mean, I said I wanted Bodo Glimt to get Sporting. I've got my wish there, Paul, because I think these Norwegian, the runner-up from, I was going to call them the champions of Norway. They're not even the champions of Norway. I think they've got a chance against Sporting Club over 2 legs. If they can beat Inter over 2 legs, they can beat Sporting over 2 legs. The only problem for Bodo there is maybe the expectations will actually go up because it's Sporting. Yeah. But I think Sporting will going to have a big problem in that first leg. They have to travel to the Arctic Circle, the artificial pitch. For me, it's all on the first leg here. If Sporting can avoid defeat or only lose by 1 goal, Sporting may well qualify. But if they do what Inter did and lose by 2 goals or more, I think they could be in some trouble, Sporting Club. Difficult side for me. The Portuguese league's a difficult one to judge.
Yeah.
I think that's a 50-50 tie.
Yeah, I think if we get Bodo like plus 120 bigger range, that would be a great bet, I think.
Steve, I think they'll be the favourites.
Yeah, I think so too. But I just think, as you're saying, that Arctic Circle going, that's such a difficult game, Steve. And we've seen so many teams crumble at that across Europe. I know we're saying Inter, but they're not the only ones who, they struggle going there. And once you lose there, we'll say Bodo will be plus 150 or higher. So.
Yeah, they'll be the favourite. They'll be the dog, definitely.
Which will be a bet. Yeah, I think they will get underrated again, Steve. But what price would Arsenal reach the semi-final? I'd love to hear what Will thinks about that and yourself,
Arsenal
Steve.
will be clear -20 to make. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I've got to be honest. As much as we love Bodo Glimt, over 2 legs they are not doing it against Arsenal, and Sporting wouldn't be either. Arsenal are in the semi-finals. It's just unless something majorly goes wrong. And look, funny things can happen in football. You can get red cards, ridiculous keepers, but over 2 legs, Arsenal look. I mean, Arsenal were plus 350 before this draw. I don't know what they are now. I don't know if we've got any odds. I'm trying to find some odds with Bet Rivers, but they must be shorter than 2-1 now. Surely, Arsenal must be shorter than 2-1 now. I'll see if I can find some latest Champions League to win odds, because that is a dream draw for Arsenal Football Club. But pretty good draw, really. What are they now, Paul, in general?
Plus 200 across where I'm seeing.
Oh, I mean, that's a massive cut, isn't it, then?
Yeah.
That's a huge cut, but it's no surprise overall, is it, for sure?
I mean, as you're saying, they're probably big minus money just to get the semi-final, Steve. So, when you're doing that, and then who's he going to play most likely? I mean, going off odds, it'll probably be Barcelona they play in the semi-finals. And, this Barcelona team, they can't stop anyone. You know what I mean? They can't stop a parked car, Steve. So, you know what I mean? How they're meant to stop the best team in Europe? I just don't see it. I think, plus I think they were plus 400 or 500-ish before the draw. So,
I'm seeing plus 285 on the machine, but I think I'd be interested. Bet Rivers are not offering Champions League futures just yet. I think Bet Rivers will come in about plus 250, maybe even shorter than that. Oh, we might be able to get Bet Rivers odds now. They're just starting to. Here we go. Bet Rivers, we've got some odds actually for the last 16 games. Bodo Glimt to plus 180 to beat Sporting at home. They're the dog at home to Sporting. That is ridiculous.
That's a mental price.
I think that's huge already.
Plus 180 just to win the game at home.
Yeah, Real Madrid are plus 140 to beat Manchester City at home. Man City plus 160. Newcastle, Barca, we'll talk about that in a minute. Have they got any odds for Bodo to qualify? No, they've not got that up yet. But Bodo, plus 180 there. She's bigger than I expected. Do we have any futures? No, they're still not offering the futures. But yeah, Arsenal massive winners. But I think your guys have got a nice draw. Well, a nice draw, a better draw than it could have been.
Yeah, exactly.
Newcastle Barcelona, I think it's a cracking tie. I actually give Newcastle a chance in this match, Paul, because Barcelona can be got at defensively. I mean, Barca will be the favourites, but Newcastle, don't underestimate this the Premier League strength. But I mean, the big problem, he's got Bruno out, haven't you? Still until mid-April.
Yeah, it's really bad.
How do you see? I mean, is that going to be 2 shootouts? Do you think 2 massive overs?
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what it was in the first one. I mean, as I say, in Barcelona can't, as I was saying, they score many goals and they concede a lot of goals, and I think our attack is finally starting to click, Steve. We're playing Golden in the 9 and Voltemada in the 10 just behind him, and I think that is starting to work. The link-up play has been good, and even though we are missing Bruno, we are getting a few players back. I know Botman's back to strengthen the defense. Maybe Lewis Miley's not far off. Wyss came back the other week, so we are getting a few players back. I just clicked on the bet there, Steve. Obviously, I don't know what price we're going to be to qualify. I think it is a really difficult one, but over 2 3/4 goals and minus 130. Minus 136.
Yeah, you're
sorry,
plus
now.
165 to win the first leg with Bet Rivers.
Yeah.
Probably means you're going to be about, I don't know, plus 250 to qualify, 200 to qualify.
Yeah, I would.
Over 2.
We'd have to win. We'd have to win clear at home if we wanted to do that. So, over 1.5 Newcastle goals plus 110 in the first leg. I don't think that can be a bad bet at all, can it?
What's the corners? I'll definitely bet on corners
Yeah.
overs in that game. 100%.
It's not out
That'll
yet.
be
They're
a
not out,
massive corner
Steve.
game.
They're not out.
That'll be about 15 corners, Newcastle Barcelona. We've got some odds for Atalanta against Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich minus 132 to win on the road first leg in Atlanta.
Mr. Gargoyle just said in the chat there, Steve, opened up. Atletico Madrid opened up somewhere else around 17s. So
yeah, that's a big drop down, and yeah, I mean that's no real surprise. Atletico Madrid, I'm seeing them 20 to 1 tops anywhere now. So we'll talk about Atletico. I mean, I think Newcastle Barca's tie. I'm going to sit on the fence, Paul. I'm actually going to sit on the fence in terms of who qualifies from that. A lot will think Barcelona go through. I'm not sure. I give Newcastle a chance. Atletico, Tottenham then. Atletico against Tottenham Hotspur. Forget the romanticism of Tottenham being really good in Europe and all that and the other. I don't see a way they get past Atletico Madrid the way they're playing, Paul, honestly. I know they've had results in the Champions League, but the schedule has been soft, really, really soft for Spurs. Now they're facing a proper team, a proper manager, a team that can be got at. I think there'll be goals in both ties, actually.
Yeah.
But for me, Atletico have got the draw they wanted here. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Do you think Spurs can raise it in Europe?
No. But I actually don't think Igor Tudor's that up as the manager coming in. I know a lot of people didn't like the appointment, but he does get a lot out of his players. The thing I find with Spurs is that some of the I think Mickey van der Ven's incredible, Steve. But do you know when you're seeing like Igor Tudor telling them to push up the pitch, and he's done it with other managers. He's telling them to move, and he's just looking at him like he's stupid. Like Van der Ven, he has no urgency. I think he's just completely checked out of Spurs. And when that's probably your best player, that's not a good sign. And because he will get a big money move in the summer. I know he'll definitely want to leave, but I think goals are going to be Steve, very apparent as well. I think I'll let it go through pretty comfortably. I mean, I'd just be looking at the over 2.5 in the first.
Over 2.5 goals have been priced up. Minus 134 Bet Rivers.
Yeah,
that's a bet already. That is Atletico Madrid Spurs over 2.5 goals. But minus 240 to win on the money line the first leg, which means there'll be about a minus 1.25 Asian handicap. We'll let it go in that first leg, which that's an interesting line actually. I didn't think there'd be. I thought there might be -1. So I'm a little bit disappointed in that respect, but I'm not disappointed with the over there. Mr. Gargoyle says Van der Ven will carry the Dutch national team once Virgil van Dijk is out. The thing with Van der Ven, does he have an attitude problem though, Paul? Because he wasn't happy with Ange Postecoglou's tactics. He wasn't happy with Thomas Frank's tactics. He might not be happy with Igor. What does he want? Who will he listen to? Is that what soccer's become? I think that the whole half the team at Spurs have an attitude problem.
I think he just wants a bigger club, Steve. Honestly, Like,
Really? I mean, I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, that's true.
yeah, I think it's just it could be, it is a bit sad to say, and I know that Ange came out and he was talking on a couple of the overlapping things like that about how Spurs on the board and the see things and how they don't want to invest this money and how they're sold by the rest of the league and other things like that. I just don't think, obviously Spurs are a huge club, but I think he sees himself as better, and he probably is. And I think his attitude is poor. Steve. I mean, we're seeing a lot of poor attitudes of football. Don't let me talk about Alexander Isak, for instance. But yeah,
Well, we need a whole episode on that, wouldn't we?
Oh god, we wouldn't stop. But yeah,
so
I
who
think
are we going for? Right,
but
right hand side of the draw, Paul. Arsenal for me, semi-final lock.
Yeah,
and then the T. I mean, I think you could take your pick from 3 out of the 4 from the top there. I think Atletico Madrid are worth a bet in the futures market. What are Newcastle future odds? Newcastle future odds.
They're about 33-1, Steve, before today.
25 now.
25. Yeah.
Now. Barcelona have been cut into about plus 650. There will be the clear favourites in that section, but I don't know about that.
Yeah,
but for Barcelona,
I'm not incredibly confident that we beat them, but Steve, I think we definitely do have a chance. Probably better than what the odds makers are saying. I mean, we saw big money pile in before kickoff. If you remember in the first leg, not the first leg, sorry, the first game we played in the league phase, and I think we were like plus 180, plus 170 something, and then we got backed into them at plus 135 before kickoff. Like, we saw a lot of money, and I think they're probably a worse state than they were then. Obviously, we are too, but I just think that if that was the case, and what we've been decent at Europe, I think Newcastle, obviously the allure of St James's Park, I think that counts for a bit more. Maybe I think we're probably one of the teams with the biggest home advantages in the Champions League still, Steve. So I think if you're going to get with us anyway, just get with us as home, like plus 165 in the first leg. I don't think that can be a bad bet. So yeah, that's pretty where I'd be going. But I think over 1.5 goals in the first leg, Steve. I think we have to score in the first leg, and Barcelona do leak goals. So that'd be the best bet in that game for me, 100% right now. Newcastle over 1.5 team total.
Yeah,
but
for me,
I
in
do
the futures.
Going to the semi-final.
Who's your futures bet, Paul? Who's your futures going to be?
Sorry, kind of bounce around that. I think probably Atletico, have they opened up yet? Is it 17s? Is that kind of the?
Well, if we're looking at around 20-1 on Atletico, it might be a little bit bigger potentially. I'm seeing some 25s now on the boards in certain places. I'm going to look. I think Arsenal, right? If Arsenal reach the semi-final, what price would they be to win the Champions League if they reach the semi-final? I think they would be, if they're plus 300 now,
plus 175.
Surely plus 175, plus 200. So I think Arsenal would be a safe bet right now. If you want a long investment, I think Arsenal would be a safe bet. And then after that, I will nibble Atletico. On the left-hand side, well, that is tough. That is really, really tough. And I'm not sure who I don't think there's a team I'd want to bet on that side of the draw. No. Someone's asking, do Galatasaray have a chance? Flacco, 5-1-3-2. For me, first leg, they might. Second leg, I just
is he the price on them in the first leg, Steve?
It's just come out of
it. Galatasaray
plus 340. I would not be betting Liverpool minus 139 the first leg.
You can get the double chance Galatasaray plus money, Steve.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that landing. I think Galatasaray could definitely avoid defeat in the first leg. But then I say at Anfield, I think even if Liverpool need to win big at Anfield, they can. So I don't give them really a chance over the 2 legs, but I do give them a chance in the first leg. Odds are also out for Bayer Leverkusen and Arsenal now with Bet Rivers. Arsenal minus 139. Now, Liverpool and Arsenal are both minus 139 on the road, right? I would much rather bet on Arsenal at minus 139 to beat Leverkusen away than Liverpool at Galatasaray. 100%. Yeah, not even close.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, that's actually quite generous. I think that's quite big on Arsenal to win the first leg. Minus 139. They're going to want it because they're champion in the FA Cup and the Premier League. They are going to get that first leg done and dusted as quickly as they can. The second leg of the quarterfinal, by the way, happens just before Manchester City, Arsenal in the Premier League. So I know we're looking quite a long way down the line. The chances of Man City, Arsenal meeting 5 times is gone now, by the way. It's blown out of the water. So that can't happen. There was a chance they could have met 5 times in 28 days. But that can't happen now.
Well, we've probably played them 5 times in 28 days, no? 2 legs in the EFL Cup, Premier League, FA Cup. Did we play them again in the Prem not too long ago? It wouldn't be 28 days, but we played them 4 times in that, Steve, as well.
Well, you could be playing them twice. You could be playing them in the semi-final of this, potentially.
No, final now. City in the final.
The final could be Manchester City, Arsenal. Yeah, the final could be Manchester City, Arsenal. So, cracking stuff. I can't believe how quick UEFA were, by the way, still, Paul, in that draw.
Yeah, I thought we were going to be able to have a chat beforehand.
I thought we could break it every tie down by the time they bring the next ball out. But really interesting to think. Go on, give me a predicted final, Paul. I'm going to say the final this year is going to be PSG against Arsenal.
Oh, well, that's boring. That's what I was going to say.
No, you can say the same. You can say exactly the same.
You know what? I'll say, God, there's a big upset, and Arsenal get dropped, and it's Barcelona, PSG, the two clubs they're both gonna score a lot of goals. I don't know. I just think Arsenal, they can't win all 4, can they, Steve? I think they've got. I think they're gonna get dragged into a race in the league. I think someone on that right side, they can give them a game. I do think they get the semi-final pretty easily, but I think I am just trying to be different, Steve. Honestly, Arsenal probably just do win it, but obviously, if you didn't say that, I would have said the exact same final as you, honestly. But so I will just go with that because it is boring. But I mean, Bayern Munich and Man City are shorter than PSG in the market. So going with PSG is not it's not like the favorite outcome. It's the third favorite in that side. And Liverpool are pretty much joint with them too.
Yeah, I might be dismissing Bayern too quickly here. Actually, Bayern, it must be said, don't have a terrible. They've got Atalanta next, and then Manchester. It could be Pep against Vincent Kompany, of course, in the quarterfinal. That would be a storyline in itself. Someone's talking about top goal scorer. Do you know what? I didn't even look who the top scorer is in this competition right now.
I think it's Mbappe, and he's got like 11 or 12. Or you might have more.
Where is the top scorer list? I'm going to find it because I've got to answer this question before we go, Paul. Flipping heck. Oh, here we go.
Mbappe has 13.
13. Anthony Gordon.
Oh, yeah.
10 goals. That can't be.
What do you mean it can't be?
10 goals.
Yeah, of course he does. He's scored about 8 penalties.
Why? I never knew Anthony Gordon was.
Oh no, he's been on fire. He can't score in the Premier League from open play. I mean, it took him a year to do that, but in the Champions League, he's been on fire, Steve. Honestly, we've had a lot of penalties. We'll say we've had a lot of penalties. I think it's 7 of them.
50 to 1. How many goals does Gyökeres have? I don't even see him on the list. But the problem is Arsenal. I mean, they split the goals around the whole.
Gyökeres on 4 goals.
That's not enough unless you're looking each way.
How many places is it offering?
Bet Rivers might offer.
If they're offering a couple of places, maybe. But
apparently there is some futures out now, so I'm just going to have a check on the futures.
Yeah, Mbappe with 30, no one's going to catch him, are they?
Here we go. Bet Rivers latest odds to win the Champions League: Arsenal plus 250, Bayern Munich plus 550, Barcelona plus 650, Man City 8 to 1, Liverpool 10s, PSG 10 to 1, Real Madrid 12 to 1, Atletico Madrid 16. They're obviously listening to this one. Chelsea 25 to 1, Newcastle 25, Spurs 25, Sporting Club 50 to 1, Bodo Glimt 50 to 1. Bodo Glimt are shorter than Leverkusen, who are 80s. Atalanta 100 to 1, and Galatasaray 200 to 1 to win the Champions League. That you can get place terms there. Half the odds.
Newcastle, Steve?
1 to 2. 25 to 1 on Newcastle United to win.
You know what? If you're reading out all them teams, we can't. Do you see we're the same price as Tottenham?
You are the same price as Tottenham Hotspur.
That can't be right, surely. That can't be right, Steve.
Well, that can't be right. I mean, I know you've got Barcelona, but I mean, yeah,
I mean, they'll have to play Barcelona if they get through, more than likely.
Any takers on us? Any takers on? Yeah.
If they play us, we'll be pretty sizable favourites, I'd imagine. Well, that's like
I am a bit disappointed in Atletico's odds, I must say, with Bet Rivers. Then they're taking no chances, though. I can't blame them. At 16, Arsenal at plus 250. I think, like I said, that would be a good long-term safe bet.
That might actually be the best bet, Steve. A plus 250 chance, which is really embarrassing. But you know what I mean? Like, it just
yeah.
That draw the semi-final, you couldn't get easier. Like, you actually couldn't get easier. Like, looking at the draw, you couldn't handpick it better. They've been gifted there.
See winning that golden boot, because I'm not sure Real Madrid will go through against Man City. So maybe Mbappe could be vulnerable. Could Gordon? I
mean, if we get through, but if that's it, if you're looking at it, Steve, you'd have to think Haaland's on 7, so he's 6 back. He would have to beat them, and then and then Bayern, and then PSG, then Arsenal. It's tough games.
Harry Kane at 8-1. Sorry, not 8-1. He's not 8-1. He's got 8 goals. Harry Kane would be the one I'd maybe look at, because Bayern can rack up big scores. Bayern's route is interesting. If Bayern made the final and won it, we wouldn't be shocked, would we? But equally, if they got knocked out in the quarterfinal, we wouldn't be shocked.
If he scored 3 goals across those 2 legs against Atlanta, you're like, that's probably pretty normal. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then he's only 2 back, and then they could be eliminated. Yeah, probably Harry Kane, Steve. It's probably the way to go.
Anyway, well, that will do it, Paul. Really enjoyed that chat. Let us know in the comments. Thanks anyone who joined live or on demand. Let us know in comments who you think is going to win the Champions League, what the final's going to be, what the best bets are, who's going to be the top scorer. And do check out Betting Weekly live today. Lewis Jones and Dan Roebuck going to be on air in about 4 hours' time, and Lewis is going to be quizzed on this draw as well. That's our take on it, Paul. It was a great pleasure. Take care, have a great weekend, and cash some winning tickets. I really like the bet that you've given out for Newcastle this weekend, 10.5 corners against Everton, by the way. That's a great bet.
Great line.
I'm on that all day long.
There we go. The Corner King's on it, so if you're not on it, you need to get on.
Corners. Yeah. Take care, everyone. Thanks so much for watching. See you next week on Betting Weekly Live. Goodbye.